Cancer 14, a very old man facing a vast dark space. Very old man, not just an old man, a very old man. On the brink of death, we can imagine. And the vast dark space is the unknown, that which is beyond death. So we have here the teachings associated with our approach to dying and death. This is a taboo subject in the Western culture. We have pretty much been forbidden by social custom to talk about death. Therefore, we cannot understand it. If we can't talk about it, we can't think about it. If we can't think about it, we can't understand it. It's different in the East, in certain countries. In Bali, I was in Bali once, and I went to a procession celebrating the death of an important person. It was fun. There was no somberness at all. It was entirely joyful, because this great spirit had moved on to a happier life. They were celebrating his great joy, and knowing that he was in the presence of God and so on. What a contrast in the West. If you smile at a funeral, oh no, you mustn't do that. I remember I think it's my father's funeral, and I looked at my mum, and she was really looking somber and as if she was in great pain and distress, which she wasn't, but she was quite happy to see him go. And because he was in pain and distress, and she didn't like him anymore. But it wasn't that she was unhappy at all. It's that she was presenting the image of how you should look at a funeral, which is somber. And I'd never seen her look like that before, ever. I was in distress because she had this different look on her face. But it was her idea of how you should look at a funeral. You know, we're taught to behave in a way which is in no way natural at a funeral, in order to do the very opposite of celebrate the death of a person. And even those people that have seen through this silliness, and they're saying, I'm getting together to celebrate the life of so-and-so who has passed on. And they celebrate the life of that person. In other words, the bit before they died. You know, whereas the bit after they died is what they should be celebrating. So we have this very old man facing this vast dark space. He's not excitable, is he? He's not an enthusiast about anything. He's just looking into the void. And there is the ultimate image of stillness. There's no opinions. There's no feelings. There's just observation. The vast dark space, we know nothing about it. We can't compare it to anything. We can't explain it. The best way for us to approach the unknowable is absolute absence of emotionality, absolute absence of expectation or prejudice, need or greed or want or desire. That's how we have to approach the vast dark spaces in life, because it's just like staring out into space. Wow. But we couldn't say wow if there were no stars and planets. You stare into blackness, you don't say wow. You just don't say anything. You just get into that space of being equally vast, equally dark, unknowable. That's where you go when you get into that space of consciousness. It's the highest level of meditation in one sense. It's the hardest to get to. But when you get to that space, then You have this nothingness. You are, and nothing else is. And there was a time before creation when that was what there was. That was God. Before creation, God was, and nothing else existed. Mind-opening idea. So I think this particular degree, the Cancer 14 idea, is about facing death with that sense of nothingness. The way in which we can convert this into normal social behavior is in our relationship with very old people. I'm talking about people in their 80s and older. They don't have any agenda anymore, typically. There are always exceptions, but they've got grandchildren, great-grandchildren, they've got things that they enjoy, but it's all that's left. They don't have ambitions of any kind, really, not even for the grandchildren. Oh, you're a doctor, wonderful, my boy. Oh, you're a hippie, lovely, whatever you are, I don't care. All I care about is that you are, that you exist. That's the level of care you get from a really old person. Because actually they've got to this secret of nothingness. The ultimate mystic's wisdom is that nothing. It's not that there is nothing, or I want nothing, or I can do nothing. It's just nothing. As soon as you start thinking and acting, then something. But before you do that, then nothing. And a very high state of consciousness to move your mind into nothing. Old people have access to that sometimes, not by any means all of them. Some of them are still wrapped up in important things to them. I want this television channel on, and you had the other one on yesterday, and I want red on my carpet, and you have blue. They're still there, like, for God's sake. But if you actually live your life well, then you get beyond that. Let's hope rather earlier than your 80s, so that you can enjoy your 70s in that state of knowing of nothing.